Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be when you're watching this. I'm Darshana Avila, and this is day 3 of Power to the P. So I am a somatic sex and intimacy coach and a tantric body worker who has undertaken this challenge because it's part of a training that I'm doing to commit to 30 days of mindful masturbation. And I really wanted to share in this journey, both to hold myself accountable and to be in service and offer some inspiration and insight to you. So, day 3. If you've been watching, you could probably tell I'm a little more buzzy than I've been. And I had a really beautiful practice this morning. What to say about that? So I was a bit short on sleep. I had a later night that I had intended, and I was with a sweetheart, and it was really yummy and fun. And that kind of just fueled my morning, as well as the realization that I had been a little rigid, even though it's a practice in fluidity and spaciousness. I was being a little rigid with myself in terms of my structure and my schedule. And I decided this morning to really just honor impulse in terms of how I began my day. And after doing a little bit of journaling, I like to do morning pages and just do a dump basically from pen to paper, from mind on out of whatever's moving and current for me. That way I'm clearing the slate for my practices. And I lit a bunch of candles and just had really soft lighting in my bedroom, and decided, even though it had been a little curious with music the other day, I felt like I wanted to bring some sound in. So I lit some incense and turned on some soft instrumental music and spent time in front of the mirror again, like full-length mirror, looking at my naked body and really just appreciating how I move. And I went through a process of honoring myself as the goddess. And this comes from Sky Dancing Tantra, which is Margot Anand's work. And I went through each body part, starting at my feet and working my way up. These are the feet of the goddess. These are the legs of the goddess, the hips, the yoni, the belly, so on and so forth. And just taking time, bringing my hands to each body part, my attention to each body part, and really lavishing myself with some devotion and appreciation to begin. And it was really sweet. And I wove my morning prayers and ritual practices in with my self-pleasuring. So just a lot of touch, very sensuous, very connected, and really in that reverential space. And then from there, my energy got very playful, and I wanted to pull out some different toys and textures. And so I did a little bit of self shibari, which is Japanese rope bondage, and just played a bit with the rope on my skin and did some self bondage and used some different toys that have textures like a soft fur texture and a feather texture, and just played on the surface of my skin for a while, letting all of that excite my energy and bring in a sense of just really sensuous, focused joy. And then when it got time for me to want the genital contact, I was actually surprised. I found myself in a position that I don't often self-pleasure in, which was kind of going between kneeling and all fours. And I was just letting my hand completely travel the terrain between my legs, from my asshole all the way to my pubic mound, and just back and forth, and really got a lot of excitement from that more full contact, and just followed it through. And that's really a lesson that I'd love to impart. We have, let me slow it down a moment. So we have ideas about what's acceptable and what's not for every area of our lives, particularly of our sex. When I just said the word asshole, some of you might have gotten very, very squeamish, like, oh, I don't touch that. I don't go there. And I'm not trying to dismiss your experience in any which way. What I'd love to invite you to consider is that our entire bodies truly are erogenous zones. And we have the gift of being able to take pleasure in so many different ways through our experience of our bodies, through sense perception. And so if you've never touched your own asshole, I would love to invite you to consider that as part of your practice. Maybe you look in the mirror. Maybe it's just on the outside. Perhaps you want to put a glove on because you're concerned about hygiene. Washing beforehand is just a good way to go. And just consider that it might actually feel good if you could put aside the stigma. And this is a solo practice, so nobody's watching you, nobody's judging you, nobody even has to know. And there was an element of that in my practice this morning that I really felt myself just giving over to a freedom and a creativity. That's the word. It felt really creative in my practice this morning. I was just trying new positions, new moves, new speeds. I was letting myself get a little wild and messy. When I was complete and after I grounded myself and just rested for a while and said a few prayers to just close the container, when I got up out of the bed and turned around and looked, there was rope and a glass wand and a bottle of coconut oil and blankets and just stuff strewn all about. And I was like, yeah, that feels great. I wasn't trying to keep it orderly or confine myself to a particular script. I let myself just be in the improvisation and the creativity of what my body wanted, what felt pleasurable. And it ended up being fantastic. Maybe my best pleasuring yet of this entire journey that I've committed to. So yeah, that's what was up for me. I invite you into that same space of creativity. Let yourself just color outside the lines a bit and see what's there for you. It's a beautiful experiment. I look forward to hearing from you if you feel inclined to share. I've really appreciated getting some messages on the subject of creativity. I received a beautiful excerpt from a piece of writing that was actually in Spanish, so I'm not going to read it here, nor do I have the permission to do so. But a beautiful piece of writing that's moving through someone who's following this journey, who chose to share with me an excerpt from a project that is being fueled by this practice. And we've all got our ways that this is going to fuel us. So let's see what yours will be. You can always go to my website for more, reach out if you need to, darshanaavila.com. And I wish you joyful, blissful, and delightful self-pleasuring. Be well, and I will see you tomorrow.